she just got married and they're looking into buying a house. Is she better off renting right now or buying?
Well, it really depends. And I know I don't mean to sound like an attorney, but it really depends on your situation. You know, when you're buying a house, you're paying off a mortgage, and hopefully you're building equity. But as we've seen in the last couple of years, the value of houses has gone down. That's not always a standard. That's not always guaranteed. When you're renting, you know, the dishwasher breaks, and you call the manager, and it's paid for. If you're buying the house, the dishwasher breaks. Guess who's dollaring it?
All right. Well, is there a way to compare home prices to renting?
There actually is. It's called the Rule of 15. So what you do is you look for a house that's in the area. You have a 2-bedroom apartment, you look for a 2-bedroom house. If the rent that you're paying on your apartment, if you annualize it, so let's say you're paying $1,000 a month, you multiply it by 12, it's $12,000. Then you multiply that $12,000 by 15. And if that number is lower than the value of the house, then you're paying too much for the house.
Okay, all right. Well,
It's a little complicated.
no, it's a little good math. I might need my calculator on my iPhone, but that's cool. I can get it.
There you go.
Okay, so
At least
when,
it's not on your belt.
that's true. Okay, so when is not a good time to buy?
There are lots of times when it's really not a good time to buy. If you're young and you're starting out in your career, you just don't know. You might get this great opportunity in another city and you're chained to your house. You can't sell it and you can't afford to have 2 houses. So that would be a time really not to buy a house. If you think you're going to stay in the house for 15 years, then it's a good time to buy. You could be too old to buy a house. In other words, if you're getting ready to retire and you buy a house and suddenly you need to sell the house because you want to move, or you need the money out of the house and you can't sell the house, wasn't a good decision. If your house is your only investment, if you don't have stocks or bonds or any other types of investment, that means you're putting all of your money into real estate. And as we saw it happen in the last couple of years, that's not always a good idea. Also, if you have no emergency fund, it's not a good time to buy a house, because trust me, you buy a house, you will have expenses besides your mortgage. You'll have lots of things that you can be spending your money on that's going to be going back into the house. And if you don't have an emergency fund set up, you're going to go into debt.
Sure, sure. Well, this is great info. Thanks, Max. I'll pass it along.
Make sure you tell your friend.
I will.